18th century. Smallpox had been taking over the world, killing about 4 lakh people each year, with 60% mortality rate for adults and 80% mortality rates for children. That means 6 in 10 adults and 8 in 10 children who got infected with smallpox died. And it was during such disheartening time, Edward Jenner, a son of a local vicar, heard something weird from the local dairy maids. They claimed that anyone who had suffered through cowpox did not get smallpox. The curious Jenner decided to look into it. And though he couldn't conclusively say why or how it happened, but he did observe one thing. Not only could cowpox be used as a shield against smallpox, but it can be spread from one person to another. Hence, it could be used as a tool of protection. So, on May 1796, in an attempt to prove his hypothesis, he found a dairy maid infected with cowpox. And then he used the matter from her lesions and inoculated it into a 8-year-old boy. The idea was to give the boy cowpox, and he did get it. He felt cold and he lost his appetite. But everything was okay the very next day. So this was followed by inoculating the boy again in July. But this time with smallpox lesions. In essence, if this didn't work, the boy would die from smallpox. Very unethical? Yes. But very fortunate that he didn't die. In fact, he did not develop any disease. And this was proof that his theory worked. So Jenner went ahead and published his papers in the Royal Society. He was expecting applause, glory, fame, and renown. But what he got was ignorance. He was told his idea was way too revolutionary and he needed more proof to be taken seriously. So that's exactly what Jenner did. He started repeating his experiment on various children, including his own son, who was just 11 months old. He replicated the results too. With additional proof, he published his results 1 year later, coining the term vaccine, with vaca being the Latin word for cow. And this time, he was met with ridicule. He was called repulsive and ungodly. There was no way the medical community would allow this to happen, and hence the entire project was brought down. With a dejected and disheartened Jenner, no other way than going back to the drawing board. It would take him another 5 years. 5 years of ridicule and shame to come up with a solution. Rather than taking the infected portions from the cow, he could take the pus from a cowpox infected person and put it into a person's arm. This would create a chain, an arm to arm vaccination. Now, by this time, King Charles IV of Spain had watched in abject horror as millions of his subjects and his own family had suffered through the surge in pox. Hence, the king went ahead and put forth an anti pox campaign, naming a 50-year-old military physician, Francisco Javier de Balmis, as its chief officer. Francis had learned alternative medicines from Mexico and Central America. The hope was he would be able to look at things from a different perspective and find a solution where others had failed to find a solution. Among thousands of solutions which were put in front of Francis, one stood out: the arm to arm method by Jenner. And Balmis had his solution, but there was a problem. Even if they decided to start giving people these arm to arm vaccinations, most adults who got cowpox in the past wouldn't get it again. And even if they did get it, they won't get the blisters that were needed through which the diseased matter could be transferred. So there was only one solution: get people who were not infected before so that they could get blisters. And only one kind of people fit this bill: children. So Bamis created a plan. He wanted to take 22 orphan children on a ship, aged between 3 to 10 years old, equipped with his regular sailing crew, two doctors, and three nurses, going on a ship for a worldwide vaccination drive. Yes, he wanted to carry a worldwide vaccination on the back of two ships and 22 orphans. Luckily, they got approved. King Charles announced that he would take care of all the expenses of the boys' well being and ensuring schooling and finances as compensation for the boys' bravery. And so started the voyage that carried the hope of the world on the back of 22 children. Now let's understand the plan. It would take 9 days for regular cowpox lesions to develop in a body. So, what the crew would do is inject two boys with cowpox, keeping the disease alive in them. Once it looked like the blisters had started to heal, the diseased matter would be transferred to the next two boys, keeping the cycle and the vaccine alive. And so, wave by wave, pair by pair, the cure was carried all the way to Puerto Rico, stopping at the Canary Islands to vaccinate the Spanish colonies. Then they went further down to South America, Mexico, and to the north. Later, they decided to split the voyage into two. Now, people in the new Spain territories were very reluctant to follow the Spanish crown. That, combined with the travel delays and stormy weathers, would cause the disease to dry out. So, in order to have some backup, at every stop that Balmis took, he ordered the local physicians to set up vaccinations. Furthermore, he also helped the local authorities to set up vaccination centers so that the proper doses could be monitored. By February of 1805, he had gone all the way up to the Philippines and he finally decided to return home. Sailing east and stopping at Macau and Canton, he finally reached Europe by 1806, where he was welcomed with open arms by King Charles himself. In past 3 years, while spreading the cure for smallpox free of cost, Balmies many a times had to pay from his own pocket for the local population to come and take the vaccine. But still, the vaccine had spread worldwide across the two oceans. One of the greatest and richest empires of all time had spent many resources to spread this cure to countries who could never have gotten it. Smallpox has been eradicated completely. Vaccinations and epidemiology have come far, far ahead from then. But all of it started with 22 children, 2 doctors, 3 nurses, and 2 ships. Just trying to save the world. Hope you found this video interesting. Thank you for watching.